May I request Mr. Harshad Jain to present a small gesture to MD sir and Dr. Ramya. May I please call on stage MD sir and Dr. Ramya, please. MD sir to address the audience. They are waiting for you, sir. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all my dear friends.
Good afternoon, sir.
Their response is very poor. They should have offered us the lunch first so that we had enough energy to respond to it. A very good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
You don't need lunch then. Anyway, I find Dr. Pawan Gurya, my colleague, Dr. Amia, I find Dr. Irfan, I find Dr. Dozee, I find Dozee, above all, a very, very important and a committed officer, our GM, HR. I find head of the engineering, I find head of the nursing, I find people from various departments, and Dr. Varsha Kohl, Dozee, and so many others. Today's topic I am very happy to share is something which is about technology, state of the art, cutting edge, which is very dear to me. And they have mentioned the Batra is smart hospital. Truly it is smart. And that it is not only smart, we have to become smarter and maybe the smartest hospital in the country. And how it can be achieved? By just introducing innovative, cutting-edge, groundbreaking technology. And lo and behold, the Batra hospital has tied up with another organization called Dozee organization, and we are having the Dozee system with us. Now, somebody will say, what is this? Many of you know it because they have been demonstrating in our hospital for a couple of weeks into 3 or 4 months. And now we are on the edge of introducing formally to this, and I am very happy to share a couple of things. And the first and the foremost is this is a make in India thing. That is the Honorable Prime Minister's most important mission, Make in India, and it is one of the Make in India, and the one which has made a huge difference. And then another thing is Make in India, and who has done it? It has been created by Indian IIT Mumbai graduated. And that if those who have gone through the newspaper, they will agree with me that most recently IITs in general and IIT Mumbai has been rated very, very high on the international floor also. And lo and behold, this product is the conceived, innovated and now marketed by the Dozee, headed by IIT Mumbai graduate. And this is a product made in India but for the world. Dozee, what Dozee can do, you know more than this, they have already mentioned it. But most important, which I felt was very happy and delighted, and which I am going to share, is that my nurses will have to work less, yet achieve higher output, more effective. When I going through the literature, which these people don't know, since I was asked to speak, and I thought I should not go as a raw, innocent man and stand up and say hello, hello. When I went through the Dozee details, it has been found that 88% blue code has been reduced because it gives an early warning system. The patient's blood pressure doesn't fall Before it falls, it alerts the doctor. And most importantly, in an 8-hour duty for a nurse, it saves 2.5 hours. And I'm happy because the nursing staffs are very precious staff. If they can save 2.5 hours in monitoring these things through the introduction of contactless state-of-the-art cutting-edge Dozee, jet achieving all the vital symptoms, be it the blood pressure, be it the respiratory rate, be it the sleep, and be it any other thing. Their 2.5 hour saved can be utilized on the patient for other equally important things. And then it is a contactless. The contactless means the infection rates are definitely going to go down, and that is the I must say the sacred responsibility of everybody to be led by the governing body and the MD. And I'm very happy that the Batra hospital, the smart hospital, which is very well connected, right, as the internet, using artificial intelligence, using state-of-the-art equipment, and using artificial intelligence, is now one of the very few hospitals in the country which has started. Of course, they claim that there are around 12,000 installations of but then a country like India with nearly 150 crore population, 12,000 is nothing. We are among the very few and first one who are introducing. With this, I am very certain that doctors and the nurses and the promoters and the medical superintendent and all management will find there is a tangible improvement in our patient care services, and we continue to be the leader in best medical care services provided in this part of the country. With this, thank you very much for the patient, and thank you very much, Dozee, to give me the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, doctor, for your kind word and appreciation. You explained Dozee very well, sir. You explained Dozee better than us, sir. Thank you so much for your time again. So again, a small gesture to Pawan, sir, by your head of operation, Mr. Harshal and again. Thank you, Harshal, again. So may I call on stage Mr. Harshal Jain. He is the head of operation and clinical success. So please come, Harshal.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon and namaste everyone. Thanks a lot for taking out time from your rather very hectic schedule to attend this session today. I promise that I'll keep it very very crisp, and we'll try to add value to what you already know about how AI can kind of change the patient outcomes at your hospital. The details, a brief background about myself. I am an engineering graduate from IIT Delhi. I am a chemical engineer. Now like a lot of other graduates from our country, I also kind of very early on in my career took a job abroad, right, and was planning to settle down there, until one fine day some of one of the incident that had happened in my one of the close acquaintance, wherein they kind of nearly missed their life due to poor healthcare system which was available at that time for them, right. This got me thinking that here I am working out of India, I should be doing something for my own country, my own nation. That's where I decided to move back to India, and I started a company which was a AI based diagnostic services in India, and which eventually got acquired by a larger company. And that's how I entered into healthcare, and it has been 10 years now that I am working in various facets of healthcare to improve the healthcare system that we have currently, right. I think to understand how AI can actually improve the patient outcomes, first we have to understand what is the current state of standard of care which is there existing, right? So if we talk about the current standard of care, there are two types. We can divide a hospital into broadly into two categories. One is ICU beds, which forms 5 to 10 percentage of the hospital. The standard of care there, which is available right now, because we have a 1:1 nurse to patient ratio there. We have multi-para monitors which are monitoring the patient there. So fair to say that we have a great monitoring available in ICU, right? Now the other fraction of the hospital, which forms 90 to 95 percentage of the beds, which is non-ICU beds, right? There the nurse to patient ratio is approximately 1:4, 1:6, depending on the hospitals, right? And the way of monitoring which is being followed there is interval based monitoring, wherein nurses taking the vitals every 4 to 6 hours for the patients, and doing their rounds, and then again 4 to 6 hours they will collect the vitals, right? Now when we thought about this process, and not just us as Dozee, but external researchers also say that this process is a suboptimal process. Now why I am calling this process as a suboptimal process, it is because of three reasons. One is it's an intermittent process. So basically nursing staff is taking the vitals every 4 to 6 hours, and they are missing a significant window in between wherein the patient is going unmonitored, right? The second, it's a manual process. So sometimes it's of course we all are humans, and it's prone to human errors sometimes. The third reason is that it's a completely paper based process. And then in this digitalization era, sometimes it takes a lot of patience to kind of hold on to that process and adhere to it completely 100%. So sometimes it gets lost in the processes, in the paperwork, right? Now this situation, imagine this process, it becomes even more unreliable when the time is of night, right? In the night times, patients also don't want to be disturbed, right? Sometimes nurses also find it hard to collect the vitals, right? So the situation becomes much more, the process of spot checks becomes much more unreliable at that time, right? Now we thought of eliminating this problem, right? And the approach that we used as Dozee was building a contactless continuous patient monitoring system, right? I'll go into the details of the product and everything, but before that I would just want to zoom into the real vital graph of two patients that we have, which we had in our clinical researches. If you see the first graph, which is the SpO2 measurement graph of a patient, right? Just for your understanding, the black graph which is there, that is the data of SpO2 measured every minute and plotted, and the purple dots, those are the spot checks of the patients which were conducted every 4 hours, right? Now if you see, would like to bring your attention at 4 o'clock. You can see my cursor there. So at 4 o'clock, the nursing staff took the measurement and found out that it is close to normal, right? It's around I think 96 or so, right? So they thought that everything is okay. Now at 8 o'clock, when they went to measure, again they saw that the vital, the SpO2 is around 96, 97, whatever, and they felt that everything is fine, right? When they came after 4 hours, which is your routine spot check at 12 o'clock, they say that they see that everything is normal. Again the vital, the SpO2 is again around 95, 97, right? They would not know what has happened with the patient in between. You can see that there have been hypoxia events, right? Here all the patient, this, right? 4 times I think the SpO2 has dropped below 80, right? Below 80 or 75, so as to say. So this is a classic example of missing out the data which is there in between the two spot checks, right? And that is where Dozee comes into picture. Similarly, there is one more case of heart rate. If you see between 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, which is 4-hour window, you'll see there have been 3 cases, 3 instances where the heart rate actually shot up to 130, 120, right? Any healthcare professional would see that and would have taken the action if they know about this data, right? And that is the problem. If zoomed out and if seen in a detailed manner, this is the problem with this spot check process, right? Now I'll go into the details of how we at Dozee are solving this, right? Now how can technology help doctors enhance the patient safety and experience? Now this is introducing you all to Dozee, which is India's first contactless remote patient monitoring system and an AI based early warning system. So to explain you better, there are 3 components of the product, right? So I'll show you the first component, which is the sensor sheet, which goes below the mattress of the patient bed. It's a sensor sheet which basically senses the vibrations, micropulmonary vibrations coming from the patient's hearts and lungs, right? And those vibrations are received by this sensor sheet. We have a sensor sheet also here. We can show you. Just Shivam, can you help me with that? So this is the kind of very thin sensor sheet. It goes below the. This is the sensor sheet which goes below the patient bed. Now this basically senses the vibrations coming from the patient's heart and lungs, right? Now the second element of the product is Dozee Pod. This is basically a communication unit wherein the vibrations which have been captured by the sensor sheet, those vibrations goes to this communication pod. And the third element, which is essentially the magic of Dozee, is our AI based algorithm, which is hosted on the cloud, our servers. Now this data of vibrations then go to the cloud wherein our algorithm is hosted, and that algorithm basically filters the biomarkers from the vibrations, which are your heart rate, respiratory rate, BP, SpO2 and temperature. Now SpO2 and temperature, we have other accessories which are used, but this technology, which is ballistocardiography, that gives you the value of heart rate, respiratory rate and blood pressure, right? To give you a better understanding of the product, I'll just play a short video that can explain a lot about how Dozee works and what is the technology behind it. I hope the video was insightful on explaining how this technology works, right? Now would like to go into a little bit of detail about something which is very unique to Dozee.